Now we begin in Lagos, where a multi-vehicle accident early Friday morning caused major traffic congestion along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The crash occurred at Kara Bridge in Ward Opik, pushing traffic as far back as the Otedola Bridge area. According to the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, the incident was reported at 7:40 a.m. via the official handle at Follow LASMA. LASMA officials, our personnel and emergency responders quickly arrived on scene to rescue victims and clear the wreckage. Though details on the severity remains unclear, the crash has significantly disrupted traffic flow into Lagos. LASMA is also urging motorists to remain patient and cooperate with officials managing the situation. Now we have our correspondent, Israel Eferoba, who is currently at the scene. We linked up with him earlier, but we're reconnecting with him to give us more updates on this accident. Israel, just before we lost you earlier, Lekon was asking if you had an idea of the reason for the accident. Was it failed brakes or was it overspeeding?
Apparently, Dashan, good afternoon to you. And lots of accounts to what may have led to the accidents that happened here on Kara Bridge earlier today. But the reason for the multiple accidents is not really clear. It may be as a result of brake failure. It may be as a result of the driver overspeeding because we couldn't get a hold of the driver. But what we do know at this point in time is that the truck fell off, causing the accident, hitting about 5 cars at the same time, with casualties being recorded. Luckily, no one died from the accidents, as we have been told, but the result of this accident has resulted into a build-up of traffic just right behind me. And like you did rightly say, it's indeed stretched all the way down to Otedola Bridge from Kara Bridge right here. What you have right now on your screen, the members of the Lagos State Emergency Services trying to ensure that the fallen truck is taken off the road so that the road can become passable again, so there will be free traffic into and out into Ogun State and outside of Lagos. Well, as you can see right now on your screen, the process is already ongoing. In just a moment, the truck you have on the screen right now will drive off, and then the road will be free again to traffic. This is what we can rightly say to you at this point in time, Dashin.
Okay, so but how are motorists, expressing their frustrations, especially those who are supposed to be at a particular place since morning, and those who are on essential duty, who are meant to be at work since morning?
I'm not sure I quite got your question, but if you're asking about motorists and how they are faring at the moment, well, they are indeed just waiting it out. For those people who are late for work, heading into Ogun State, or probably traveling, well, some have resorted to get down from their vehicles and go on foot, just as you can see on your screen as well. They decided to go ahead and go on foot at this point in time, even as officials are indeed trying to make sure that this traffic is subsided in no time. For the officials, well, they've been here since about 7 o'clock trying to ensure that this backlog of traffic is cleared, and indeed victims of this horrific accident are well taken care of. Earlier on, we spoke to a man who was indeed involved in this accident. He was in a...
All right, well, thank you, Israel, for that update. Moving away from that, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered tight security measures nationwide ahead of the 2025 Easter celebrations. He has also directed commissioners of police and supervising AIGs to intensify visibility policing, intelligence gathering, and strategic deployment of personnel to churches, recreation centers, highways, and other public spaces. In a statement issued by the force PRO, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP has extended warm Easter greetings to Christians, urging reflection on the season's values of hope, renewal, and sacrifice. He emphasized the importance of swift response to any threats and called for public cooperation through timely, incredible information. Now, citizens were also urged to remain vigilant, celebrate in moderation, and avoid reckless driving during and beyond Easter festivities. The presidency has confirmed that President Bola Tinubu is governing remotely from Europe and is expected to return to Abuja on Monday, April 21st, after the Easter holidays. In a statement on Thursday, Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said that the president, currently in London after departing Paris, remains fully engaged with governance and in regular contact with key officials. He stressed that Tinubu has also issued directives to security chiefs to address emerging threats across parts of the country. His nearly 2-week absence, the presidency noted, aligns with a previously communicated time frame. The statement assured Nigerians that the administration continues to function effectively and governance remains uninterrupted. It also addresses recent criticisms over the president's absence amid rising insecurity in Plateau and Benue states. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has addressed the ongoing crisis within the People's Democratic Party during a media chat in Abuja. While speaking on national television, Wike openly criticized the Governors Forum, saying that they don't possess the power to appoint the party's national chairman as it's an elected position.
There was only a time when I was a governor, where governors came out to say, look, we have done this, we have done this, we have done the defense to the acting secretary of the party. Never has it happened. Right now, we will influence what will happen in the National Working Committee. And that is why we are playing so good. Now, we don't have the authority to say that somebody should be acting as national secretary. When there's a national secretary who has not resigned, we cannot do that. We don't have power to say we are forming a committee of them. It is not within your prerogative to form a new committee. And these are things that people across will challenge any day, any time. And when that happens, people now say, oh, why is this a making problem? Now, the issue is, who is the one setting the foundation for crisis in the party? And I told people, look, the best way to go about this is you go on that, put your influence, get the results, and then move on. But to come out openly to say, look, we, the governor forum, we have met with the organs of the party. We have met with the National Working Committee. Who are you to say that a national secretary of the party that was elected, it was not appointed, yet it was going to a particular area. And it was elected by the delegates at National Convention. And so anybody that would move national secretary of the party, it is through the National Convention. As you will not consider that it is done to South-East. South-East can still not bring somebody. They can only say, okay, when we go for National Convention, this is the person we are going to back. It's not my appointment, it's my election.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Chairmen of Lagos political parties have called for greater collaboration, integrity and inclusiveness to boost voter confidence. They were speaking at the political dialogue organized by New Central Television on Thursday ahead of the July 12th local government elections in the state. They emphasized that politics should be about forming meaningful alliances rather than campaigning outside election seasons. News Central's lead correspondent Bernard Akede has more.
For the first time in Nigeria's political history, News Central TV has brought together state-level political party chairmen in Lagos for a groundbreaking town hall meeting, the Chairman's Dialogue. The event, broadcast live on News Central, provided a rare platform for party leaders to speak candidly about governance challenges in Lagos, especially in the build-up to the forthcoming local government elections.
It's so special that this is the first time of having this kind of event in Lagos State when it comes to High Park. So we are really happy to be here, and we really know that there will be changes because of what has happened today. The masses, the populace, the citizens will see a lot of changes just because of this.
The historic gathering saw leaders from various political parties share one stage, exchange views on the state politics and governance at the grassroots. Issues discussed range from electoral integrity and political violence to the dominance of the ruling party and the independence of the electoral bodies, amongst others.
Lagos State believe that if they can have infrastructures, which are the bridge, the road, that is just the 1% of governance. Let's talk about social infrastructure, the healthcare, the education. How is the healthcare of Lagos? How is the education of Lagos? How is the town hall? How are you meeting the people?
Notably absent were representatives from the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, LASIEC, a development that did not go unnoticed by the participants. Their absence further fueled discussions around the credibility of local polls, allegations on state capture, and the role of political thuggery in election season.
INEC, I would love to tell them when will be the next time for people to get their voters card ready. For those that want to have a change, maybe for those that have a change of places they live, and would like to tell them when and where can they get their voters card. But it's unfortunate we don't have any representative here. And for the LASEC, the question will always be, why do we have to pay such amount of money to have our form?
LASEC conducts the election, and the APC too, they are the ruling party. So, how do you expect them to come? They are the one manipulating the systems. So they know exactly what they are doing. So there's no how. What justifications do you want them to, to bring forward to us? Because they don't understand the system. So all we are saying that let there be a kind of a system that is going to favor other political parties too, not only APC.
With local government elections fast approaching, participants described the dialogue as timely and crucial. Many used the platform to express their expectations from electoral authorities and call for a level playing field.
We know what experiences we've had in the past. We will not be repeating those errors again. And we know where the loopholes and what their gimmicks are. We will not give room to those gimmicks and those loopholes again. In 2025 local government election, we are assuring all our candidates of their votes getting defended, getting declared, and getting counted.
We hope that this sort of engagement we're having now encourages that kind of participation where more people come out and better results come out, and LASIEC that is in charge demonstrates a higher level of integrity than past elections.
We're asking them to speak to Nigerians, or in this case, to speak to Lagosians. And you all Lagosians that you're claiming that you want to serve, you owe them a duty of care and a duty of hearing, as well as a duty of information.
Stakeholders hope this initiative will mark the beginning of more inclusive political conversations, not just in Lagos, but across the country, to strengthen democracy at the grassroots. In Lagos for News Central, Bernard Akede.
Still in Lagos, for the second time in less than 8 weeks, traders at the Agidingbi Mechanic Village in Ikeja area of Lagos State are groaning over loss of their means of livelihood due to another round of demolition of their business premises. Now, the premises, which shelters over 5,000 auto mechanic, traders and artisans, was pulled down on Thursday. At the time of this report, it was unclear the legal rights and the authorities involved in the demolition exercise. The traders say they have operated for decades under an agreement that their structures are temporary, but are surprised by the sudden notice, which was followed by a demolition exercise. Their major concern was not being given sufficient time to relocate their businesses before eviction.
Our market, and we don't have another place we are working. It's only this place we have. And see the way country be now. See the situation where they pull everybody. My mother, this way I just wake up this morning, they call me for phone, say, oh boy, come rush you, come and carry your property. Before I reach, they don't destroy my shop. Many my market day here now, it don't spoil. And this is where I'm living and feeding my family. I don't have any other place. My brother, this is where I see am. If Nigeria get another way, they can help us. Maybe they help us. Nobody say they pursue us for here now, carry us go another place. We don't have another place. See, you said you can see as they destroy everywhere. Everybody just define this. You know where to go. This is where we see this morning. We don't even know what to do. We don't know what to do. It's not only this place. We hear about it. But our chairman here, they tell us we are not among. It's only that second yard, plot 8, they live here. Say we are not among. Which means they use the thing, they collect money for our hand. Thank you.
From that, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, has donated the sum of 2 million naira to internally displaced persons from the violent attacks of April 2 in Bokos that left many people killed and immeasurable amount of property destroyed. Peter Obi, who made the disclosure when he visited surviving victims of the dastardly acts in Bokos local government area of Plateau State, said there was no need for the barbaric act in the first place. News Central's Chizoba Anyonwe was on his entourage and now tells us more.
Mr. Peter Obi was also the former governor of Anambra State. His visit to commiserate with the victims of the Bokos attack began with a condolence visit on the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, at the government house in Jos, the state capital.
We have no reason as a country to be going through this. We have no reason for people to be chased out of their communities that are begun. We are not war. This is a country that is not at war. And I know that people know reasons behind this, and as a result, people must live in their communities, be able to go to their farms, live a life that is protected by government of Nigeria.
The governor, who termed the incident as deliberate and planned attack, maintained that now is the time to put an end to it.
We've been playing with this matter as a nation for over 2 decades. The time has come when there must be a huge consensus that this has to stop. If we don't wake up to stop it now, we may wake up and find out we have no country to call our own. May God forbid that.
For Peter Obi, the incident remains unacceptable as it calls on government to end the sad trend.
Well, I think the government needs to do more. They don't want to solve it. If they want to solve it, it will be solved. We can't have a situation where people, criminals, and non-state actors will take over our country. It is unacceptable. So now we have a country or we don't. People must look into this, look into what is causing it. We cannot say it's impossible.
He had earlier visited Our Lady of Apostles College of Nursing Sciences in Jos and the School for the Internally Displaced Children in Bokos, where he donated 10 million naira and 5 million naira respectively for their upkeep. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
When we talk about staying healthy, we often think of diet, exercise, or sleep, but there's one area many of us tend to overlook: our oral health. Now, it turns out a healthy smile goes beyond aesthetics, and it can influence your physical, emotional, and even social well-being. Our correspondent, Oluwakemi Alimi, tells us more.
According to the World Health Organization, Oral diseases including tooth decay, gum disease, and oral cancer affect over 3.5 billion people globally. These aren't just mouth problems. They can lead to chronic pain, disfigurement, and even death in severe cases. Experts recommend brushing, flossing, and most importantly, visiting your dentist at least twice a year.
Mouth problems that we have that is common is dental caries, and it's actually caused by we ourselves. We try to tell them that if you are taking all these things that predisposes you to come down with cavities, you have to be brushing immediately. You get a fluoride containing paste and brush. People having gum diseases, gingivitis, you see them having bleeding gums. This is dentist every 6 months, which is okay.
But beyond the physical pain, the psychological and emotional toll of dental problems is often underestimated. While many have grasped the habit of daily brushing, regular dental visits remain a distant thought, often overshadowed by the wait until it hurts approach.
First time I've ever visited the dentist was maybe 7 years ago. Okay, because I had a hole in my teeth and it required, it was painful then. I had to take some pain relief like medications and stuff. But when I wasn't getting the expected result, I had to visit the dentist.
I have drugs that I used to use to just be like you want to die because the pain is so much. So best thing is just to know how to maintain yourself.
Talking about visiting dentists, I don't think I do that consistently, but it was when I was having issue with my teeth, so that's the time I visited. And when I got over it, I didn't think of it again to visit.
Dental pain can disrupt sleep, reduce productivity, and make eating difficult, leading to fatigue and poor nutrition. Emotionally, it contributes to anxiety, mood swings, and in some cases, depression.
For instance, somebody that have mouth odor, which we call halitosis. Some people may not be able to talk confidently outside. Once he's aware that he's having a mouth odor, he may not be able to talk among his peers. He may not be able to express himself. That gives him a kind of low morale to associate and to speak publicly. So by the time they come to us and we try to fix the problem, giving them a solution, that alone boosts their confidence and also enhances their quality of life.
So what can you do? Taking care to smile could just be the most cost-effective and the smartest thing you can do for your mental and emotional well-being. In Lagos, for News Central, Oluwakemi Alimi.
As part of efforts to tackle food insecurity and drive sustainable agricultural growth, Nigeria's federal government has inaugurated the Agricultural Sector Working Group, a national task force aimed at coordinating strategies for food security and nutrition. Speaking at the launch in Abuja, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the initiative will deepen stakeholder collaboration and ensure accountability across the agricultural value chain. News Central's Joshua Marai reports.
It was the official launch of the Agricultural Sector Working Group, a task force established to strengthen resilience, track progress, and promote stakeholders' coordination in Nigeria's food system. Addressing stakeholders at the event, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the group will serve as a mechanism for improving coordination and results in the sector.
The Agricultural Sector Working Group will serve as this critical mechanism, providing a forum for monitoring progress, enhancing accountability, and mobilizing collective action towards the achievement of our shared agricultural goals.
Also speaking, Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, said the task force reflects the government's broader commitment to unlocking the agricultural sector's potential.
We are focused on ensuring that the agricultural sector value chain is fully developed, that it is financed, that access to finance is provided at all levels of agricultural production, the smallholders, as well as the large-scale, even mechanized farmers.
Stakeholders at the event stressed the importance of effective implementation, urging government agencies and partners to use the platform to drive real change for farmers and consumers.
Let us use this opportunity to drive meaningful change and to contribute to a resilient and thriving agricultural sector that can feed our people, sustain our economy, and fulfill our continental obligations.
Before the issue of insecurity that is rampant, one thing that was coming out clear before insecurity is the issue of lack of access to credit. That's why we are happy. And we know that that is going to also be solved.
With the inauguration of the Agricultural Sector Working Group, the federal government is signaling renewed political will to combat food insecurity. But the success of the initiative will depend on translating policies into visible outcomes across farming communities. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Marai.
The urgent need for stronger climate action has again taken center stage as stakeholders gather in Abuja to examine the growing impact of climate change in Nigeria. At the event, Nigeria's Climate Impact Outlook report was officially launched, offering fresh data on how current global emission trends could spell disastrous consequences for the country if not urgently addressed. News Central Saged Ibrahim has more in this report.
With global warming projected to reach 2.7 degrees Celsius, Nigeria is among the countries expected to suffer the most from extreme heat, facing temperatures hotter than anywhere currently on Earth. This sobering projection is one of several findings highlighted by climate change advocates who are calling for renewed commitment from the government and key stakeholders to curb the worsening impact of global warming on the country and its citizens.
I think this particular event is really timely and important, especially at this time. We haven't felt heat wave as much as we are feeling at the moment. So we need to continue to have this conversation about climate change and its impact, not just on us, but also on our economy.
We should be concerned, but especially our policymakers should even be more concerned, because the responsibility of government is the welfare and security of citizens. If you cannot tackle climate change, then you cannot tackle the welfare of citizens.
Participants at the event also stressed the importance of sustained public dialogue to drive greater awareness and action on climate change.
It is clear that the decision we make here today will determine our national trajectory for decades to come. Our commitment to sustainable development and effective climate action must be unwavering. It must be embedded into every facet of our decision-making processes.
One of the best things we can do for us to find solutions to solving the climate crisis that we have in Nigeria and also in Africa is to consistently gather a bit more knowledge, knowledge that is being backed by data to help us make more informed decisions. So I think that this outlook will really help us shape the kind of thoughts that we have on how to respond to this.
The highlight of the event was the unveiling of the Nigeria Climate Impact Outlook, a new report offering empirical data on how global emissions trends could drastically affect the country if urgent measures are not taken. In Abuja for News Central, I'm Sakir Ibrahim.
A sweeping anti-corruption campaign is shaking Senegal's political and financial landscape. Now, in what authorities describe as an unprecedented crackdown, nearly 300 individuals have been arrested and 15 billion CFA francs recovered in a 7-month investigation targeting economic and financial crimes. Led by the Financial Judicial Pool, the probe spans hundreds of cases linked to alleged embezzlement and misuse of public funds. A separate inquiry into the management of COVID-19 response funds revealed further irregularities. 27 people were questioned, 1 remains in custody, while others were released under judicial supervision. Authorities also seized 260 million francs. 5 former ministers are under scrutiny with potential prosecution pending parliamentary approval. Altogether, 262 suspects are tied to nearly 300 cases. Dozens of vehicles and land titles were confiscated, signaling the state's intensified push for transparency. Christians in South Africa are joining the rest of the world initiating Easter celebrations by observing Good Friday, a solemn day dedicated to honoring the death of Jesus Christ. Now in Johannesburg, the Cathedral of Christ the King is leading a procession through the city, providing a reflective opportunity to contemplate the crucifixion and sacrifice of Jesus. This poignant day marks the beginning of Easter festivities, reminding believers of the profound significance of Jesus' sacrifice and the hope it brings for salvation. News Central Bongani Siziba is at the Cathedral of Christ Church. We cross over to her for more.
It's a very good afternoon and happy Easter holidays from South Africa, Johannesburg, where Christians are from all walks of life, like their peers across the globe, have gathered to commemorate the Good Friday. For Christians, this day holds deep significance, marking the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, a time that Christians also reflect and unite with hope. So this afternoon, I'm reporting live from Cathedral of Christ the King Church in Johannesburg, where the Good Friday celebrations are in full swing. As you can see behind me here, congregates embrace the age-old traditions that reminds them of the sacrifices of Jesus that he made for humanity. And for them, this day is not only marked by remembrance, but also the procession and reenactment that depicts the final moments of Jesus Christ, where they reflect on their faith, the significance, and also the sacrifice that Jesus made. But let me just talk to some of the congregates here and hear what Easter means to them. Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you for joining us. What a beautiful Easter. But can I have your name and what does Easter mean to you?
Good afternoon. My name is Violet Ellis from the Cathedral of Christ the King, Johannesburg. Easter for me is very special because it talks about the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. However, it starts with the crucifixion on a day like this, Good Friday, where we will be walking the streets commemorating how Jesus was crucified, how he was tortured by the soldiers and Pharisees. So today will remind us just of that, and that he redeemed us for our sins. So it's very special for us. And we do this every year. Today we are here.
What a special day for Christians here in Johannesburg, not only in Johannesburg, but also across the globe. Let me just bring in another congregate just to hear their views about the Easter. Good afternoon, say, and thank you for joining us. Kindly introduce yourself and tell us why it is important for Christians to celebrate Good Friday and Easter.
Good afternoon, viewers, and happy Easter in advance. Yeah, it is a good thing for us and for all Christians all over the world to commemorate a day like this, for us to remember the suffering he has suffered so that I and you might get life and life eternal. This day we are celebrating it in a way that people will understand, a mark that people will repent and come back to him to experience the type of suffering he has suffered for us, so that we will also know that yes, he has paid our price. And in every of our action, every of our behaviors, it is a moment for us to reflect and know that yes, somebody has paid for the life we are living. And then we know how to live this life only to please him, never to allow him to suffer again, unto glory of God. Amen.
Yeah, as you can see, what we are seeing here today is not only just happening here in Johannesburg, but across in South Africa, it's happening. And as these celebrations carry on, it's evident that the Good Friday is more than just a day of reflection, rather, for Christians, but it's affirmation that Jesus Christ died for Christians, and there is always hope. And it's now back to you in the studio from Johannesburg here, Bongani.
Absolutely, Bongani. Thank you so much for that. Now, still ahead, At least 2 dead, 24 injured in Colombia twin bombing. Details after the break. Join us. Now, in other news from around the world, a wave of violence has struck southern Colombia, where twin bombings have left communities reeling and authorities on high alert. The La Plata, located in Huila department, a motorcycle bomb detonated near a police station, killing 2 people and injuring at least 24. Flames and debris were seen engulfing the area shortly after the blast. Colombian officials are blaming dissident factions of the former FARC rebel group, which withdrew from a 2016 peace accord. The La Plata bombing came just hours after another deadly explosion targeted a police station in Santander de Huacho in the neighboring Cauca department. Now, security forces are now on heightened alert as investigators link the attacks to escalating activity by armed groups opposed to the peace process.
Se registró la activación de un artefacto explosivo acondicionado en una motocicleta frente a un hotel en inmediaciones de la estación de policía del municipio de La Plata. En este hecho resultaron inicialmente 2 personas asesinadas y preliminarmente 24 lesionadas, quienes fueron trasladados a centros asistenciales para recibir atención médica.
With this, we're going back to our correspondent, Israel Eferebo, who is at the site of the accident that happened earlier this morning for more updates on the incident. Over to you, Israel.
Yes, Dashan. Earlier on, we were live and we tried to paint a picture of what was happening here at the Kara Bridge leading into Ogun State from Lagos. But what we do know right now, what we can confirm, what we can see is that traffic is not moving, but the backlog is so much that it almost seems like there is something happening somewhere on the road. But no, this is what you see right now is as a result of the earlier accidents, multiple accidents that happened earlier on today here on Kara Bridge, where a truck fell off. The container fell off. We also do understand that the cause of that accident was a brake failure. Well, that container had been moved off the road. The cars that were involved in the accident, they have also been moved off the road and taken to a yard for repairs or whatever it is that they will be doing with them. And the resultant traffic from that multiple accidents is what we can see right now just behind me. In the cars coming in out of Lagos, trying to get into Ogun State and other parts of the country, they cannot move freely. There's free flow of traffic right now, but what you can see right now is a volume of cars coming outside Lagos as a result of that multiple accident that happened earlier today on Kara Bridge. It is Good Friday, I must point out, but for these motorists here, I don't think it is anything good. There's anything good about today due to the amount of hours that they have wasted due to the multiple accidents on this particular road. As it seems right now, it will take some time before the road will be entirely free of this backlog of traffic. But the good news is the multiple accidents earlier today, that scene has been cleared off and motorists are now free to move, but it will just take some time before we can have indeed free flowing traffic here on Kara Bridge, Dashan.
Israel, it's a good thing that, traffic is flowing and, people will be able to make it at least in time for the celebrations. Now, but what are the authorities saying about heavy-duty trucks moving during the day?
Did you come up with that? What about the authorities? What did you say again?
The authorities, what are they saying about heavy-duty trucks moving or driving during the day?
Well, indeed, it's a rhetoric that we've heard before. Heavy-duty trucks, vehicles applying any part of Nigeria are meant to observe speed limits and also put their vehicles in proper condition. They have tried over and over again to emphasize this particular fact, but apparently there are always some bad eggs among these truck drivers here in Lagos and indeed across Nigeria. The message is clear. Road safety is important. It is very, very key, and not just for you as a driver, not just for you as motorists going about your normal businesses. It is for everyone. The much that authorities can say and can do is to enforce the law, is to sensitize drivers across Nigeria on the need to obey traffic rules, the need to put their vehicles in order, and indeed the need to obey speed, to maintain certain speed limits on roads across Nigeria. But this is what the authorities have been saying ever since this motor accident happened earlier today here on Kara Bridge. Dashin?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Israel, for that update. And please stay safe even as you come back to the station. Some of our major stories. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, speaks on PDP crisis, openly criticizes the Governors Forum, saying they don't possess the power to appoint the party's national chairman. We also told you that ahead of Easter celebration, Inspector General of Police orders tight security deployment of personnel to churches. Finally, you heard that nearly 300 individuals have been arrested in Senegal and 15 billion CFA francs recovered in a 7-month investigation targeting economic and financial crimes. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Go TV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube.